joining me today. This practice will be a grounding practice to calm the mind and soothe the nervous system. So this is a great practice to do at any time of the day, especially if you've been feeling scattered or just feel like you need to ground a little bit more. Let's start in a seat, maybe sitting up on a blanket. You can use a block, whatever feels best to you, and you might decide to close your eyes or just find a point down in front of you for your gaze. And just begin to tune in. Notice how your body feels. So invite a sense of observing with maybe a sense of curiosity, and just sort of notice what's going on in your body right now. Even if there's areas of discomfort, tightness, tension, just notice what you're experiencing right now. And then notice your feet, your legs, and your hips. And notice any sensation of your mat or blanket beneath you. And then just invite your hips and legs and feet to relax into the support beneath you. Almost like you're sort of sinking towards the earth. Maintain that nice tall spine. And invite your shoulders to relax as if they're dripping away from your ears. Begin to tune into your breath. Maintain a nice, tall, regal spine. Lengthen the back of your neck as if you're reaching the top back of your head up to the sky. Notice how long your inhale is. And just breathing in and out through your nose. Elongate your exhale about 2 counts or even more, longer than your inhale. So if your inhale is about 3 or 4 seconds, might be 5 seconds, let your exhale be 2 counts longer. So if your inhale is 4 seconds, your exhale might be 6 seconds. If it feels comfortable to do so, you might want to elongate the exhale even twice as long as your inhale, as long as there's no strain. So again, inhale and exhale through your nose. Keep your breath nice and easy and smooth. You might also notice the pause at the bottom of your exhale. Without trying to change this pause or force it to be longer, just notice. Noticing that brief moment of stillness at the bottom of your exhale before your next inhale. And then if your eyes are closed, gently open your eyes. And as you inhale, reach your arms out and up. Hands touch. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Remember, this is your practice. Always listen to your body, listen to your breath, and find variations as you need to. Again, inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, lower your right hand down beside you. Reach up through your left arm. And as you exhale, come into a side bend over to your right. You might lift your gaze, you might look straight ahead, or you might release your neck and look down. Find any variation that works best for you. On your next inhale, come back upright. Lower your left hand down. Inhale, reach up through your right arm. And then side bend over to your left. Breathe here. Choose your gaze. And then inhale, come back up and lower your hands and arms down. Transition off of whatever you're sitting on and bring yourself into table pose. So hands about shoulder distance apart, might be a little wider, that's totally fine. Knees about hip distance apart. Engage your core slightly as you lengthen through your spine, reaching the crown of your head forward and your tailbone towards the back of your mat. Press gently into your hands, inviting a sense of grounding through your hands and maybe through the tops of your feet and knees. And then inhale, drawing your heart forward into cow. Exhale, draw your belly in, look to your knees for cats. Find your variation, warming up your spine. Notice how this feels. Move at your own pace. And then come back to neutral table. You might bring your hands a little further forward on your mat if you were near the back of your mat, so that you have room behind you. So extend your right leg back. Stay on the ball of the right foot and press your heel back, starting to get a stretch into the back of that right leg, into the hamstrings, calf, and ankle. And then lift that leg up about hip height. Press through your heel. Engage your leg, your glute, and your core. You can either stay here or reach your left fingertips forward, maybe onto the floor or a block, or extend your left arm out parallel to the floor. Looking straight down, find your variation for pointer dog. Notice the challenge. And then lower your left hand down and bend your right. So just sort of hovering your right knee over your mat. Start to move that knee in a circle. Just getting into the hip joint a little bit. And then reverse direction. And then lower that knee down. Extend your right leg out to the right of your mat so your right foot is flat on the floor, sort of in line with your left knee. And just a little movement forward and back. Notice how that feels in your inner thigh and hip. And then pause. You might bring the foot in a little closer. You can bend the knee a little or lift that hip up as you would like. Move your left hand an inch or two forward on your mat, and then inhale your right arm up, coming into a twist. So press into your left hand gently and your right foot a little bit so you feel that connection with the earth. as you reach up and extend through your top arm. Breathe here. And then lower that right hand down. You might slide your right foot out a little further here. And inhale, twist to your left. So your left arm and right leg are extended sort of like wings as you ground into your right hand. And of course, your left knee is on the mat and your right foot on the floor. And then exhale, lower that left hand down. Reach for a block and come down onto your forearms. Position the block either at the low or medium setting. I like it at the medium setting for this. Elbows in slightly wherever they make sense to you, and rest your forehead on the block. So if it's too much in your inner thigh, you can bring the foot in closer and bend the knee, lifting your right hip up a little bit. So while you're getting this stretch in your inner thigh, you're relaxing the upper back and shoulders. Come back to your breath and elongate your exhale. Noticing that exhale pause. Your neck should feel comfortable here. And then inhale, bring yourself back up. Set your block aside and take that right foot all the way behind you and over to the left edge of your mat. Staying on the ball of the foot, look over your left shoulder towards that back foot. And then bring your torso back to neutral. So I didn't mention earlier, but hopefully if you're finding your knees are a little sensitive, just open up your blanket across your mat so you have more cushion under your knees. And extend your left foot back. Stay on the ball of the foot and press through your heel. So you're getting a little stretch into the back of that leg and ankle. And then lift that leg up about hip height. Press through your heel, toes point towards the mat. Core is active, leg is active, glute is active. And then find your variation for pointer dog on this side. Again, your hands might reach forward onto a block, or you might lift that right arm up parallel to the floor. Find whatever variation for your pointer dog works best for you today. Gaze down. And if that arm is lifted, bring it back down, both hands on the mat, and rebend that left knee. You might move over to the right of your mat so you have more room on the left side. And hovering your left knee, start to come into some knee circles. Getting into your left hip joint a little bit. And then reverse direction. Lower that knee down. And then extend your left leg out to the left of your mat, left foot flat on the floor in line with your right knee. A little bit of movement forward and back. Notice how that feels in your inner thigh and hip. And then move your right hand forward on your mat slightly and inhale your left arm up for a twist to your left. You can bring that left foot in a little closer as you need to. Breathe here, feeling that expansiveness across your heart as you stay grounded with your right hand and left foot on the mat or floor. And of course, your right knee is down as well. On your next exhale, thoughtfully lower that left hand down and slide that left foot out a little further if you would like. And inhale, twist to your right. So that right arm may not go as far out to twist as your left. Just notice how this feels. Extending through your right arm and left leg like wings. And then thoughtfully lower your right hand down. Bring a block right about under your nose. Lower down onto your forearms and support your head on that block. So again, still getting a stretch into that inner thigh. If this doesn't work for you, feel free to bend that knee and come back into kneeling if it's too much. But you might just adjust a little with the left leg bent and the foot in a little closer. Just find what works best for you. Forehead to the block. Notice your breath. Relax your upper back and shoulders as you breathe here. Elongating your exhale, and notice the exhale pause. One more breath here. And then thoughtfully start to press your way back up onto your hands. Take that left leg behind you, all the way over to the right edge of your mat, maybe onto the floor. And look over your right shoulder towards that back foot. Getting a stretch along the left side body. And inhale, coming back. And then widen your knees. Toes can touch. And sit your hips back for child's pose. If your forehead doesn't quite make it to the mat, you can use your hands, maybe like this, or a block. So find what variation feels best to you. Arms might be straight, or you can bend the arms, resting the forearms on the mat. Just make sure your head is supported and that it feels comfortable to you. Invite your hips to be heavy. They may or may not make it all the way to your heels. That's okay. Make sure your knees feel okay. Knees can be wide or closer in, whatever works best for you. Notice your breath. Elongate your exhale. And notice the pause at the bottom of your exhale. On your next inhale, lift your head. Might come onto your forearms, lift your hips, bring your knees closer in together, and then make your way all the way onto your belly for Sphinx pose. Set aside any props you don't need. Bring your elbows just about under your shoulders. Forearms are parallel. Press down into your hands and forearms, like you're trying to almost pull yourself forward on your mat. Press into the tops of your feet or your legs. Engage the upper back and shoulder girdle, as if you're energetically drawing your heart forward. Lengthen your neck. Ears reach away from your shoulders. Gaze towards the top of your mat or in between your thumbs. Imagine you're creating space between each vertebrae. Draw the lower ribs slightly away from the mat. as you breathe here. Now here in Sphinx, just keep your inhale and exhale more even. So instead of elongating the exhale, the breath will be more of an even count for both inhale and exhale. And then on your exhale, relax. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Elbows point towards your heels. And we'll do Bhujangasana, Cobra. 3 times we'll press up. So on your inhale, press up into Cobra. Might be just a very little Cobra. Brief pause at the top of your inhale. And then exhale, lower down. 2 more times. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. And then elbows out. Stack your hands and rest your head on the back of your hands in Makrasana. So release all effort here. Relax completely. Let your whole body just release any tension. Imagine with each exhale, you're just melting into your mat. Our bodies are over 70% water. So just imagine your body is sort of spreading like water on your mat. You might feel your belly press into the mat as you inhale. And as you exhale, just really soften, letting your body take up as much space on the mat as feels comfortable to you. On your next inhale, lift your head, bring your hands under your shoulders, and press up into table pose. Lengthen through your spine, move your hands slightly forward so that your wrists are in front of your shoulders. Lengthen through your spine, tuck your toes, and reach your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Taking your heart in the direction of your toes. You might bend your knees a little bit and ground into your hands and feet, pressing down into the knuckles of your hands and fingers, especially your pointer fingers and your thumbs. So the lower part of your thumbs. Grounding into the earth. Elongate your exhale. Notice the pause at the bottom of your exhale. Keep the back of your neck long. Externally rotate the upper arms, creating more space around your neck and upper trapezius. And then lower your knees down. And we're going to come into one more variation of child's pose with a block. This time knees stay just about hip distance apart. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Bring your elbows closer towards your legs. You can have the block at the low or medium setting, or if you prefer, a high setting. Just invite your spine to be more parallel to the mat, and make sure your head and neck feels comfortable. Find a variation where you can really soften and relax into your shoulders and upper back. Elongating your exhale and notice the pause at the bottom of your exhale. Take one more breath here. And then thoughtfully lift your head off the block and arrange yourself onto your back. Maybe bringing a blanket over your hips or covering yourself with a blanket if you prefer. Make sure you feel comfortable, warm enough. And as you settle in for your final resting pose, invite your whole body to be heavy and soft. Let your legs be heavy. Release and relax your hips. Relax your whole back, inviting space between each vertebrae. Soften your shoulders and arms. Let your head be heavy. Relax your jaw. Soften all the muscles in your face, especially around your eyes, inviting the outer corners of your eyes to drip gently towards the earth. Soften your belly and soften the area around your heart. And let go. Gently bring your awareness back to being on your mat. Notice your body. Notice your breath. And observe your mind. Whenever you feel ready, begin to make small movements, wiggle fingers, toes, whatever would delight you. Eventually bend one knee and then the other, rolling over to your right side or whichever side you prefer. Support your head with your bottom arm or a prop. And when you're ready, slowly press your way back up to a comfortable seat, maybe keeping your eyes closed. And with appreciation for your efforts and your focus, bring your hands together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for this grounding and calming practice. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you. And if you enjoyed this practice, please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Check out some of the other videos, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the mat.